guys, it's Renee with Raw Branded, and today we're going to talk about how to brand yourself using YouTube thumbnails. Now, a really great and easy starting point for you to create your thumbnail is by using Canva. Now, if you haven't heard of Canva, it's a free software. You can get it by going online and signing up for a free account. Canva makes it really simple for you to create a YouTube thumbnail. Because Canva already has preset thumbnails, all you need to do is bring your creativity to the table and then start playing around with the templates. And so I want to show you how to do that so that you can make sure that you are consistently branding yourself. And before we even do that and dive into that, a couple of things you want to remember to do every time you're creating your thumbnail is to have a similar look and feel. Now, a really good way to wrap your head around this concept is to go to something like Netflix, go to Hulu, one of those sites, and you can see the feed, right? You see all the videos that you can watch, all the different movies, and you'll notice that you'll start to pick movies based on the thumbnails, right? Are they engaging? Are they really signifying the movie, what you're planning to watch, the TV show? Do they have something that's going to capture your attention? And that's what you want for your thumbnail. Because here's the thing, your video is going to turn up on that listing, I do believe it's the right of YouTube, whenever you're searching for something and the results come in, and those videos that populate on the right, 9 times out of 10, think about it, you choose a video that has a really engaging thumbnail. Think about that. Remember that, because that video, you want that same appeal for your video. So those videos that are listed have engaging thumbnails. You want to do the same thing for yours. And on top of it, you not only want your thumbnail to be something that will pull people in, but you want it to signify and highlight the video that you've already just filmed, right? It should speak to what you're planning to showcase. So you can't have one thumbnail be one thing. Don't do clickbait. No clickbait. You don't want it to be one thing and then the actual video be about another thing, because that really frustrates people. You don't want to tick people off and waste their time. You'll lose subscribers that way. And then the other thing you want to think about when you're creating those thumbnails is to make sure that they are consistent, that they have the same look and feel. So when you're creating thumbnails, make sure that it's always signifying your brand. It has the same kind of style, similar style, video to video, you want to make sure video to video, it has a similar style, it has a similar color scheme, it maybe has, graphical elements, things that really call out to your brand. So you want to make sure that your thumbnails really capture your brand in a quick but powerful way. So then let's dive into Canva and start making unique thumbnails that highlight your personal brand. So the first thing you want to do is go to YouTube, and when you're over YouTube, what I want you to do is do a search of what your competitors are posting. Now, this is not for you to copy your competitors. Oh, no. We're not trying to copy here, but we want to see what's out there. Hypothetically, let's use the example of you're in the knitting industry and you're doing a review of knitting needles. So let's say that I was doing a search for best knitting needles, because I'm someone who's crafty and I want to put out a review and I want to see what's out there, right? Best knitting needles. So right off the jump, okay, we see that a couple of things have come up. There's a video here from a year ago that had 31K views, very nice. And we could see what her thumbnail looks like, okay. You can see that she puts knitting needle faves and fails. She's doing a review, okay. See that there, it's in the yellow, right? I get it. The next one has the 10 best knitting needles, right? And right off the jump, you can see that it has an image of knitting needles, and you can see from the text right there, it's explaining it, right? We continue looking down and we can see the next one just has images of a person holding 2 different types of knitting needles, right? So we can assume that they're making some sort of comparison. This is very simple design, not much in terms of branding, but you kind of get what's going on, right? This next one down the list is kind of similar to the one, oh, there it is. Great example. This thumbnail right here, I was just about to say it looks identical to this one that's further below. But lo and behold, we can see it's the same creator who created both videos. One is from 2017, one's from 2018. Bravo for you for sticking with your branding, having a consistent look and feel. You can see they included their logo. Like they have some fonts, simple fonts that they're using. The best is jumping out. They have a couple of different needles that are displayed in the thumbnail image for both of them, right? Consistent look and feel for both sets of videos, one year prior to the other, but great in terms of branding. Both videos have gotten a lot of views, and you can continue to scroll down and just see what else is out there. Some are better than others, and I would make a decision based on what is jumping out in terms of the branding of the video. Do I know what this video is about? Does it look like it'll answer my questions? Aside from the fact that I'm looking at the ranking, right?
But I'm also looking at what looks legit, what looks like a decent video, and then I'm gonna go ahead and look at the views and everything else to see if other people looked at it. And once I dive in, I'll see if people liked it, didn't like it, and make my own judgment, right? Based on what I see. But your thumbnail is your first impression, so you want to do a good job at it. So bravo to the wiki peoples. We know what our competitors look like, right? Hypothetically. So now what we want to do is actually create our own thumbnail. So what I recommend you do is you can use any software. Photoshop, you can use Pixlr, Photopea. There is also Canva, which makes things really simple and easy to get your graphic designs out there. So we're going to use that for the sake of this tutorial. So we're going to head over to Canva, click on Create a Design. You're going to have all these different options that will load up. Keep on scrolling down and go to the option for social media and email headers, and you'll see the option right there for YouTube thumbnail. Once you're there, Canva is so wonderful. The software loads up all of these great options towards the left that you can choose from. This is not for you to copy exactly what they have, but instead, these templates are for you to get some good ideas of how do you want to start branding your videos. And of course, I recommend that your thumbnails should have some sort of consistent look and feel, some consistent branding. That way people can readily identify what video is yours. So keep that in mind. Don't change it up too dramatically where you're looking inconsistent. Consistency is the name of the game. So choose a design that works best for you. And let's just say that hypothetically in this situation, let's say that this is the look and feel that we want to go for, right? And we've seen designs like this. If you've been on YouTube and you've been checking out videos, you've seen video thumbnails that look pretty similar to this one here. And I do love this style. I have to say I've used it before in the past. Love it, love it, love it. And people do a lot more with this graphically, but it's a great starting point for doing your thumbnails. So you can use this and you can just dive in and start playing. Right? Your video right now, we're saying we're doing a review of best knitting needles. So the thumbnail should incorporate knitting needles. So let's look up an image or two of knitting needles. You may already have some. If you don't, you can do a search. Canva does a great job of providing a legit library of free and paid images that you can use. So that you can scroll down and start looking at what your options are. What will convey the meaning of this video, right? All right, so let's say that we're gonna go with this one. Not the best image because it's not showing needles front and center, but you know what? For now, we're gonna go with this. The most important thing you're looking for is that your image is clear. It's not busy, right? You want it to explain, really showcase what your video is about. I always recommend that you include yourself in your thumbnails. But you know what, if that's not part of your branding, if that's not what you want to do for your thumbnails, it's more focused on whatever tools you're using at the time, then you can incorporate something like this, right? One thing you want to remember is to keep the image bright because YouTube, for some reason, images that are brighter in color tend to perform really well. So then what you can do is go ahead and hit the filter. You can add different filters to it if you wanted to either make the image a little bit brighter or to incorporate more of your branding style, more of your colors into the actual image. So you can go ahead, I'm gonna dial up the brightness just a bit. I'll even increase the contrast a little bit since I made it brighter. There are advanced options that you can use, play with the saturation and the tints and everything else. Tint the image a little bit because maybe my branding colors are purple, so I may increase the tint so it has more of a purpley hue. And then I have something more along the lines like this.
so it's diving into more of my signature colors. The next thing you want to do is to actually say what your video is about. Start messing with the text here. So this video, hypothetically, is about the best, right? We can do something like this. Send the box, making sure that this is balanced, increase the spacing, and then once our text is pretty much balanced, you want to make sure it's legible. There isn't too many words, not too many text that you're incorporating into the description, because people are just glancing at this very quickly. They don't have time to read a whole full-on paragraph, so you just want to make sure that it's pretty simple and eye-catching, and the words actually apply to your video. So keep it simple, eye-catching, and also it would be very helpful if these are searchable terms. So it is helpful if some of these texts are SEO friendly, meaning they are search engine optimized, that the text that you're using are words that people would use to search for the actual videos. And yes, that's something you definitely want to incorporate into the name of the video and the description of the video. So once you have that down, you want to make sure that you're continuing with the branding, and we want to adjust these colors to make sure that they are on brand. Let's say your colors are purple and this kind of muted tealy color, right? Let's say that these are your colors. Canva is really smart. We're going to change all of the squares. I have changed them to yellow temporarily to play with things. We're going to change them all to that tealy color. So this is what you get. It looks like this. So now you're on brand. The colors are purple, you got this tealy, muted tealy colors in the background, and this may be your kind of style, but you know what, graphically you can go ahead and add more designs if you want to incorporate things like, you know, maybe we want to incorporate something like this to just highlight your design. This may be typical of the way you fancy up your thumbnails. This is maybe in line with your branding, how you showcase things, and maybe this is like what you typically do to give it a little bit more splash, especially since you're doing the review of the best knitting needles. You can do things like this. You know, at this point in time, it really is about you playing and putting your signature look and feel into things. It's really clearly up to you how you do this. So I went ahead and did some gold stars for best knitting needle. I have it on brand. Let's say this is my look and feel. I've incorporated fonts that are legible, right? And let's say these fonts are on brand. These are the type of fonts that I'm typically using for my videos. I use it because it's the style that I use in all of my elements, all of the things that I'm putting out there on my platform. So this might be the right font to go with because it's consistently used by my brand. It's easy to read. I've added some kind of blingy stars around the text to make it stand out. And you know what, if I had a logo, I might drop in my logo too into the design and incorporate that as well, just to brand my thumbnail so people would know that, you know what, this is a review by so-and-so, you know, so-and-so knitting expert who always gives us the goods on, you know, how to perfect our craft. But the most important thing is for you to be different, be unique, stand out, make sure that your brand is arriving in style. So we've got that awesome design, so what we're going to do is go on and we're going to download our image. It's recommended that you save it as a PNG file, so go ahead and do that. Hold tight while they prepare your design. Once you go over to YouTube, let's pretend that this is your knitting video, right? Clearly it's not, but I'm using this as an example. Let's say this was your knitting video. You would then go over to the right and you will have the option to change the image that you have currently as your thumbnail. So go ahead and do that. Once you do that, it'll ask you to upload an image, and you can proceed and upload the image that you have, which looks like this. And then this would become your thumbnail. Oh, by the way, it's also helpful after you create your thumbnail to take a look at what your competitors are doing and then compare that to what your thumbnail looks like, and just think to yourself, if I was looking at this, would I click on my video? You know, does it stand out? Is it unique from what else people are seeing when you search for this term? Does it jump out as something that's a little bit different, a little unique? Do you readily know what this video might be about just looking at this thumbnail? Remember, your thumbnails are kind of like looking at Hulu or Netflix, right? They're looking at the image and you're trying to see, do I want to watch this video based on this
thumbnail. And it's the same concept. You want to look at your thumbnail image, compare it to competitors, and say, which one would I watch first? Which one would catch my eye, right? And that's how you should make your design. So this was just a quick example, clearly, and I would do this again, I would probably change the color combos, but, I'm just saying hypothetically, if this was your branding and this was your color scheme, this is a type of strategy that you can incorporate into creating your thumbnails.
Since you'll need a photo, just make sure that every time you're creating a video, either during the filming or when you're done, you can do your poses and make sure you have some sort of freeze frame that you can use for your thumbnail. So it's going to feel a little hokey at first, but after a while you'll realize, okay, this video is about, this product here, so let me pause and make sure that I'm highlighting whatever product on your thumbnail. Or you can just take a photo when you're done and upload that and use that to begin with. So a couple things to remember while you're filming, and you need to create the image for your thumbnail. So hopefully now you understand how you can create thumbnails for your videos that are uniquely branded and can highlight your personal brand, your business, highlight you in a way that you stand out. So if you're still struggling with building your brand and figuring it all out, I highly recommend that you download the Raw Branded Checklist. The link is below. Download the checklist so you can wrap your head around how your brand is showing up on and off of social media. So download the checklist and we'll work through that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.